Is it too soon? We will now sing the Lord's Prayer together, followed by Reverend Aubree-Lynn's meditation and her lesson.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Leave us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever.
So in this silence, today we move into a place called pixels. And pixels are many colors. And in that place, let us go back to an age, young, medium, our age, whatever age. Let's go back to a place where somebody was making fun of you. Somebody who didn't see you for the beauty of who and what you were and are. And if you were going to pick a color and a new t-shirt to wear, think about what color that would be. And think about what you would write on that t-shirt. And as you finish that, and you put it on, how do you feel? Does it make you stand taller? Is it a mirror image of the goodness and the greatness of who you are? Does it stand for freedom of who you are? Do you wear it proudly or in arrogance telling the world who you are. This is your t-shirt. Let it surround you as you feel the cloth on your skin. Let it surround you in love and peace. As you share with the world the uniqueness of who you are. Blue eyes, brown eyes, blonde hair, red hair, brown hair. The many colors of skin from white to bronze, to cocoa, to yellow, to black, to red and back again. Know that it is time as you wear this t-shirt that you stand tall. And maybe your t-shirt just says, I matter. So as we slowly and gently come back to this room, I ask you to keep your t-shirt on and to know with me, anytime somebody looks at you in a way that you feel is not for your highest good, stand tall and be proud of how unique you are. Welcome back. So, I know many of you have had what we call those deja vu moments. I've been here before, I've done this before, this street has shown up before, what does it mean? Anybody in here not had a deja vu? You meet someone and you go, don't I know you? And they go, don't I know you? And you know you don't know each other. That happened to me at the Wagner Foundation. I sat down next to a man and we looked at each other and we went, don't I know you? Don't I know you? And we absolutely did not know each other. But of course, at a soul level, we obviously did. So in his book, Richard Dale Billings wrote a poem about that, and it's called My Soul Remembers. And it kind of fits in with what I'm talking about with the deja vu, because he says, my soul remembers time. It remembers yesterday, tomorrow, love, prayer, life, death, freedom, truth, success, Christ, fear, karma, humility, children, evening, the sun, the calendar, the Christ pattern, the nun's prayer, the seasons, America. His story goes on. It was funny. Rodney asked me last week, how do you come up with this stuff? Gotta love Rodney, right? And I said, well, do you want to know what I did last Sunday after church? And he said, what? I said, I read a book. It was this book. Because I begin thinking, where am I going? I know I'm talking about soul, and this popped up on a shelf before we took all of our books away. And he goes on to recount different parts of his life, when he was a man and when he was a woman and when he was black and when he was white and when he lived in Asia and when he lived in Europe. And each one was a soul journey, and he goes through all of these journeys. And I started thinking about it. Is it possible that our soul, from the time it was created, which was zillions of years ago, remembers every single thing. I believe actually it does, but I don't know for sure because I haven't gone there, and even if I've come back, they don't let you know what you remember, so you got to do it all over again anyway. So that's the hard part. So where did this soul come from then? Well, we say God, the creator, the universe. But I read this quote from Einstein, and he said something deeply hidden had to be behind things. Something deeply hidden. So could it be that our soul be deeply hidden within us? Could our soul be that which was left behind in our lives, and it keeps giving us those deja vu moments? So it's sort of like a compass then. Can it direct us to our true north? So to answer this question, then it's important to say, what is this thing called soul? What is it? In the book Einstein and the Rabbi, Noami Levy writes, the soul is a mirror of God. God within us. The soul fills our body just as God fills our world. The soul outlasts the body just as God outlasts the world. The soul sees but is not seen, just as God sees but is not seen. The soul of the God is body. God is the soul of the world. So if the soul of God is body, that's this. This is body. That means that must be in here somewhere. By this definition, then, Levy is implying that God and the soul are one. Would you agree with me there? Yeah, God and the soul are one? Okay, so how did this happen? Well, there's a parable that says when God was creating the world, God shared a secret with the angels. Human beings would be created in the image and likeness of God. The angels were outrageous and jealous. Oh my. Why would humans be entrusted with such a precious gift? They are floored mortals, said the angels. How dare they? So surely, the angels said, if humans find out that they have true power, they're going to abuse it. If humans discover they are created in God's very image, they will learn to surpass it. So the angels decided to steal God's image. Now that the divine image was in the angels' hands, they needed a place to hide it. So they held a meeting, and we know how that goes. And they brainstormed. We know how that goes. The angel Gabriel suggested that they hide God's image on the top of a mountain. No, said the angels, they'll climb up and find it. So then the angel Michael said, well, let's put it at the bottom of the sea. No, said the angels, because they'll swim down there and they're going to find it. So, and then the angel Uriel said, I have the perfect place. They will never look there. They'll never find it. So the angels hid the precious holy image of God deep within the human soul. And to this day, God's image and likeness lie hidden in the very place we're very least to look for it, lying closer thus than we would ever know. Within our heart is our soul. Those sneaky little angels. So it's important that we know that the soul is not a body part. It's the essence of who we are and what we are. We are not God, but we are each a divine spark of all that is. God lives within our hearts and souls. We are on this journey, whether we know it or not. You know, people can knock New Thought or spirituality. They don't realize they're on the same journey we are. They just give it a different word or a different expression. But bless you. So whether we know it or not, we can embrace and embody the journey. And the more that we embrace and embody, the more that our lives will be rewarded and we'll be happier. So as we travel through this thing called life, it's our job to learn. And it's so hard, believe me, I know. And as we go along, we have to pick up insights. We have to look at what just happened and what does that mean to me? And we have to make sense of this particular lifetime. You know, people have asked me, have you done past life regressions? And I go, hell no, I'm having enough trouble with this one. I don't want to know anymore right now. So to understand then the soul, I went to the Unity Bible Dictionary to share with you some of like the Fillmore's interpretation. And so it's written in this Bible that the scriptures give spirit, soul, and body as constituting of all man. Spirit, soul, body, constituting all of man. Spirit is the I am. I am what? So I am the same character as divine mind or God. Sometimes I'm God in not the best disguise. And I think that happens all to us, to all of us sometimes. But I am the same character. You are the same character as divine mind or God. This is saying that we are made in the image of likeness of God. And that does not talk about hands and feet. That means the joy, the love, the wisdom, the beauty, the light, the love, all of the 7 attributes of the Christ consciousness. Fillmore goes on to say soul is man's consciousness and subconsciousness. And then we have to add to that race consciousness, collective consciousness. So we have all of that coming into us. And it comes into us with each incarnation, or if you don't believe in incarnation, when you're born. It all comes. So we have all of that. And then we have the parents, and then we have the teachers, and then we have the clergy, and all of your grandmother's myths, and you have all of that you're dealing with. Consciously, the soul then is an accumulation of all thoughts, things, and experience that you have experienced right up until right here, right now, in this very minute. That is consciousness, that is soul. And then you have the subconscious that collects all this stuff in this huge data bank. And it has no sense of humor. And it doesn't discern. It only says what? Yes, the subconscious. So whatever the consciousness and the soul and all of this energy is throwing within us, the subconscious just creates the place to make it happen. And that's the rub. And I'm sorry about that. This means that everything that is unfolding in our lives is a part of all that is. Everything. Fillmore says the soul touches both the inner and the outer realm of spirit, from which it receives its inspiration. Soul is a mirror of the mind. It reflects back to us in form that which the thought we give to it. This is why it's so important to be still and to listen. The soul, if we tune into it, will guide us. It will help us. It will steer us in the right direction. You know, we are on the spiritual journey to build higher consciousness. And the time to flex your spiritual muscle, I was thinking about this week, that little girl, how she flexed her spiritual muscle and stepped at such a young age above all that was being put on her. And she stepped up. She flexed her muscle. She became a spiritual warrior, moving forward until consciousness of peace and love perverted her heart and soul. Not perverted. little off there here. My teeth didn't go in right this morning. So, you know what? This is the rub about New Thought, and this is why that, you know, we're not having 5 services on Sunday, and, you know, that we're not overloaded in our parking lots, because it all comes back to thoughts or things. And until we can accept that, until we can accept it, embody it, feel it, walk it, talk it, we don't realize we're a self-fulfilling prophecy, and it's hard. every time I say, I am not doing a good job, I am not the best leader I should be, I am not da-da-da, I am not this, I am not that, I am creating for myself chaos and crisis. And so are you. So I am here to serve. I am here to love. I am here to lead. I am doing better every single day. That is also a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what are you saying? What am I saying? What are we saying together? Charles Fillmore, our founder, writes this: the Spirit is divine center in man. Spirit, we have this divine center in us. Is it showing? Is it sparkling? Is it bubbling up? Is it healing? What is it doing, this divine center? And he says that it's always in the absolute, with a capital A. It does not become involved, listen to this carefully, it does not become involved in the effects, but stands as the creative cause of the absolute good. Let me say this to you again. The Spirit is the divine center in man, and it's always in the absolute. It does not become involved in the effect, but stands as the creative cause of the absolute good. So what is the absolute? You know, in New Thought we have terms, and sometimes people don't even realize what they mean. So what is this absolute with a capital A? The unconditioned that nothing can limit. It forever transcends the conceivable lack and limitation. It's unconditioned perfection. So what does all that mean? It means absolute is a synonym for God. That was a joke. That was a joke that bombed. I wrote a little smiley face here even. But here is the truth. You know, cinnamon, kids can't say cinnamon, they say cinnamon. Okay, all right, well, we'll let that go. Oh my God, wake up, you guys. So truth is an absolute, and it remains unaffected by the opinions of desires of man. So in our humanness then, this spacesuit that we call a body, I know without a doubt, believe me, I know without a doubt, it's difficult to stay in that unconditioned perfection. But in our understanding of our truth principles, we strive for that. I strive for that, to stay in the center of truth. So I want to look at the word understand. In our understanding, to understand means to stand under that which you believe and support with your thoughts and energy. Understand, to stand under your beliefs. You seek support until that which you believe can stand alone. That's the definition of understand, to stand under. To stand under. So when we get off center, which we do because we're human, and we close down, the best question that you can ask yourself, the best question that I ask myself, am I in principle? Am I standing under that which I believe? As much as I may or you may want it to be about somebody else, the truth is it's always about ourselves. That's the truth. And none of us are able to move into the future tomorrow because so many are clinging to the past that we have not unconsciously released. And this is called life. This is called our journey. This is called our path. So then the question remains, how do we make every day a friend? How do we do that? How do we embrace all that's happening with dignity and integrity and love? Because at the end of the day, we have to face ourselves, nobody else. You know, I normally go to sleep right away when I crawl into bed. I'm a good sleeper. I sleep 8 or 9 hours. I have no problem with that. I couldn't go to sleep last night. So much churning, so much going on. And I woke up at 1:30 and thought it was the morning. And then I woke up at 4. And I woke up at 6 and my alarm was set for 7. So at the end of the day, we have to face ourselves and we have to answer to ourselves. Billings wrote this: the soul must seek the lofty realm in order to receive divine inspiration. So I journaled this morning. What is this lofty realm? Universal law must be understood. To stand under universal law must be understood. We must be obedient to its actions and its actions unto itself. And that means love, that's God. Love points the way, but law makes it happen. There's a universal intelligence. There's a law out there. There's a law of electricity. There's a law of gravity. There is a law of universal intelligence. So love then sits on the seat of justice and tries its case until the action is adjusted. We have to adjust what's going on with our own hearts and souls. And then we have a reaction of love in transforming all that is unlike God. We have to transform all that is unlike God in each one of our own days. Transforming all that is unlike God. God is infinite love, that's all. Where's the love? Whatever we put out that is not in love, that law reacts and brings it back to us. That is the subconscious mind. And I actually have a sad face here. Think about it this way. When we can get rid of ourselves of the outer and let the actual deeper self shine through, then love can pour through our soul. God's love just comes in and pours through. It's that day when you wake up and say, oh my God, I'm holy joyous. And you'll always hear me say holy joyous because most days I am. Most days. And then we finally find ourselves in the midst of a world yet undisturbed by its multiplicity. For the innermost soul, we know ourselves to be one with all being. We are one with all being. We are all one with each other. We have the power, the love within us, our soul. But the angels hid it. And it's time we realize that was just a story. That was just a story. It's a myth. Is there a little truth in it? Who knows? We haven't met a live angel. Well, we have, but we just don't recognize them yet. The truth is, it all lies within. It all lies within. Yeats tells us this: the world is full of magic, patiently waiting for our senses to grow sharper. So I ask you this week, this day, when this service ends, be still, listen, love. And so ends the lesson.